Hey, so congrats on your pregnancy. I assume you're pregnant if you're watching this video, but if not, that's cool. You can stay tuned and learn all about what you're gonna need in the first trimester if you're planning to get pregnant, or even for people you know who are pregnant. So I right now I'm in my third trimester. Hello, belly. So this is my first child, and so it's my first experience with pregnancy firsthand. I'm a personal trainer, and I've definitely trained so many women through their pregnancies. So I've learned a lot over the years, but just there's no learning like going through it yourself. So I'm gonna share a little bit about my unique experiences, and then also just some tips and tricks that I think could help you or any woman during their pregnancy. And also my favorite items that I could not live without in my first trimester. So let's jump right into it. All right, so I made a list so I could remember, because I'm sure you've probably heard about it, but pregnancy brain, it's a real thing. It's like you just cannot retain anything when you're pregnant. I tend to forget a lot of things. Yeah, it's real. So first we're gonna talk about foods. Some foods I really liked during my first trimester were carbs. Like, I just wanted nothing but carbs, really. And I remember I had a couple of food aversions. It only lasted like a week or so, but there was like a week where I was really turned off by the smell of garlic or eggs cooking. Like almost every morning my husband's cooking like garlic, onions, eggs, meat, veggies in like early in the morning, and I would just like, ugh, it just turned me off. And I can't say that it necessarily made me nauseous, because I really didn't have any nausea during the pregnancy, but just the smell of that was so disgusting to me for like a week. And then I got over it. So I didn't really have, any severe problems, just like little stuff like that. But I mostly just wanted to eat carbs, like things like rice, sweet potatoes, bread I was craving. So I did have like some pasta and bread in the first trimester, but I really tried to keep it healthier carbs like potatoes and rice. So, and I'm still even eating rice into this third trimester. I just feel like throughout the whole pregnancy that I've really felt like an extra carb craving, and I feel better when I eat carbs. Also, fruit juice was a big one in the first trimester and even beyond. Like, I've had a lot of cravings for fruit juice, like orange, apple, grape juice, stuff like that. I try not to drink too much of it, and when I do have it, I dilute it. So usually 50% water and 50% juice. Just because it's a ton of sugar and it'll really make you pack on the fat fast. And of course you do want to gain some fat during pregnancy. That's why I've been really strict with my diet or my macros, or even trying to keep my calories low, because you do need to gain some weight. And at this point I've gained about 20 pounds. So I'll give you like a little, of the look around. This is me at 34 weeks right now. So that's about 8 months. And so this is kind of what it looks like with 20 pounds on. It's mostly baby. I still feel pretty lean in my legs and arms. So it's not excessive weight gain. So when I say I ate more carbs, I didn't blow out on the carbs. I would have like a half a cup of rice at dinner, or like an extra serving of sweet potatoes, but not like 10 sweet potatoes. I really do think that it's important for you during pregnancy to just still be aware and conscious of your portion sizes, because yes, you do need to eat a little bit more, but you don't need to like complete binge fast and just stuff your face with carbs all day long. So I hope that helps you, like knowing that in your first trimester, so that you don't get into your third trimester and beyond with like all this excess fat to have to burn off after the baby comes. That's not a good situation to be in. So hopefully you can prevent that by moderating throughout every trimester. So I get a lot of questions on Facebook, particularly, and Snapchat about what to do for nausea, because other people who are pregnant are following my pregnancy journey, and they always want to know, what did you do for nausea? And I feel bad because I really have no answer for that, because I didn't have any nausea. I've heard that lemon water with ginger in it can really help. And then also like drinking smoothies or having like more liquid meals, so that you never get hungry, because usually the nausea comes on when you're overly hungry, I guess. And then also staying really hydrated. So those are some tips I have for you, but things I didn't need to use personally. All right, another food related thing is prenatal vitamins. And I'm sure you've heard that in your first trimester, you want to start taking these absolutely as soon as possible, because the real beginning of pregnancy, like the first few weeks, even unfortunately before you even know you're pregnant, are the most important for baby. So hopefully you're already eating well and getting a lot of nutrients into your diet. But if you're not, and even still, you should be taking a prenatal as soon as you find out that you're pregnant. So the one I'm taking is called Garden of Life Vitamin Code Raw Prenatals. So these are raw, so supposedly they're better for you because the vitamins are more intact and not destroyed by any heat or anything. They come in a little capsule form like this, and so it's a small size. It's pretty easy to swallow. They do have like kind of a taste or scent really to them that's kind of like sawdust, but not that bad. And I take one 3 times a day, so morning, middle of the day, and night when I can remember. I also take a vitamin D3. It's a really good supplement for everyone to be taking, pregnant or not, but I just started taking this during pregnancy. And then you want to take also some vitamin C, because if your immune system is at its all-time best, that's best for mom and baby. Last diet-related thing is going to be about constipation, because I definitely got constipated in my first trimester, and I know it's kind of an awkward thing to talk about, but it's important for you to know what to do if it happens to you. So some food things you can do, you can start eating more like seeds, like flax seeds are really good for helping move your digestion. Oatmeal, you can make oatmeal with flax seeds and cinnamon in it. That's great. You can also try including more fruit, like fibrous fruits like berries, and then also prunes, which is like a dried plum. I ate a lot of prunes in my first trimester, and I think that seemed to help. I also, when we were traveling for Christmas, we went to Canada, Halifax, where my husband is from, and so I think just because we were flying and the super high elevation and everything just kind of made me backed up that week. And so I went to the pharmacy and asked what to get, and they recommended a stool softener. So that's a really gentle, like it's not like X-Lax, but it's just a little bit of stool softening to help you get things flowing again. So I know this is probably TMA, but if you are uncomfortable and constipated for days on end, then you should do something about it. The other thing you can do is just drink tons of water and hot tea, and that should help too. Get more greens into your diet, things like that. Okay, now for clothing items. I know in your first trimester you don't have this big round belly yet, but you will. And maybe already you feel like a little bloated and your belly's just starting to push out a little. So you want to prepare yourself so you can stay comfortable and not get to the point where your pants are so tight they're like cutting off your circulation. So you want to look for items that have like a stretchy waistband like this one. And then also I really loved like skirts like this that are not too short but like kind of short. And this is honestly from my regular wardrobe. It's not a maternity item, but it's one that I've been wearing a lot during this pregnancy just because of how like expandable the waist is. So I love it. Very comfortable, like light fabric, flowy. And then I also I picked up this skirt from Old Navy. Old Navy has a great little maternity section in case you want to pick up some items that are affordable because you're not going to use them forever, Check out Old Navy. Someone recommended it to me. I thought it was a great idea. This is another little skirt that has that elastic waistband. And then probably the best item I got, this actually is a maternity item, is from Old Navy. This is the mom shorts. So this is the front. These are mom shorts, and they're just so ridiculously comfortable because they have this waistband that rolls down. So when you wear it, you tuck it over like this. And it's just the stretchiest, like softest fabric. And they're just so roomy and so comfortable that I actually bought these in my second trimester, and I've been wearing them a lot through my third, because basically these are like the 3 bottoms that I can still wear other than my pajama pants. And my workout pants. You can still wear a lot of yoga pants and workout pants. As far as tops go, I've been really wearing like most of my same tops from my wardrobe, just the bigger ones. I have like, my smaller shirts, they kind of like look like a belly shirt now, so I don't usually wear those anymore. So just pick out the items from your closet that are like on the bigger side or the flowy side, and you can just get away with those for most of your pregnancy. But maybe late in the third trimester, you might want to go shopping for just a few items, and you don't need to totally redo your wardrobe. Just get like maybe 5 items that you can just keep cycling. Okay, so must-haves activity-wise, like what activity should you be doing in your first trimester? For me, number 1 was naps. Naps were so important in my first trimester. I was so fatigued, especially like in the second half of the first trimester. Like once you're past 8 weeks or so, that's when I really just started to feel like sleepy during the day, just tired all over. And your body's really working hard to grow this human being. So there's a lot going on inside of you, and it's totally okay to take some naps right now. The other thing you definitely need to be doing is daily walks. So So, you know, even if you're taking naps, try to like sneak in a little walk either before or after the nap. It's going to make you feel so much better. And I just think creating this habit of walking daily and just doing something physical daily is so beneficial to you throughout your whole pregnancy. And this is something that, you know, I've been really adamant about from day one, finding out I was pregnant. I was like, well, I know my workouts are going to decrease because you guys know I work out a ton and I like high intensity, but I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't just go from high intensity to nothing. So I knew that for me, especially, that including that daily walk was going to be a really important part of just staying fit and just keeping it together through this pregnancy, and it really, really has been. So I try to get out for at least an hour a day. Some days, especially in the second trimester, I could go longer, like almost 2 hours. But now that it's getting to the third, it's more like 45 minutes. So just do what you can, but make sure that you make that habit in your first trimester. And last physical activity thing you should do is find a prenatal yoga class locally to where you are, because this is so good. I mean, yoga is not just good for you in general, but it's like extra good when you need that community support and those women who are going through the same thing you're going through. I just have found it's really nice to just be in that room with other pregnant mamas and to see some who are further along than you and some who are not as far along. It's just really cool just to know that you're all going through it together. And then also the education that I've gained from just going to prenatal classes, like breathing techniques and just different stretches that feel really good and alleviate the aches and pains of pregnancy. Prenatal yoga has been bomb, and I love it, and I just highly recommend it. So I really hope you can find one that is local to you, and if not, search YouTube, because there's a lot of prenatal classes here on YouTube. And I've done some of those in my living room also. Okay, speaking of your education, because you have a lot to learn when you're pregnant, especially if it's your first time. There's just so much information about what's going to happen to your body, and you know what you can do to have the best pregnancy experience, and labor and delivery, what that's like, and just take the fear out of it, because it can be a little scary when you've never gone through it before. You don't know what to expect, all of that. So I definitely recommend you start reading. This is a great thing to do, especially since you may have some downtime, like before and after your naps. You can just read a couple of chapters of books, and it's really nice. So my number one book recommendation is this one. I think her name is May, or it's Ina May, I'm not sure, but it's called The Guide to Childbirth. And this book is so incredible. It's so like graphic, kind of, in a good way though. Like it tells you the real truth of like what goes on in childbirth and really important things you need to know. Like I didn't even know that there was a mucus plug or what a mucus plug was. I didn't know, you know, like when your water breaks or how long labor lasts, or you know, any of the details about labor. I just learned so much from this book. It's a really good book. I couldn't put it down. It was such a page turner for me. I was like, I need to know more. It's so good. Love that book. Another thing you might want to be doing other than reading is actually writing. And so I started journaling. I created what's called a mommy's diary when I first got pregnant. And this is just a good way to like jot down your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your experiences through your pregnancy. And the way I did mine was to write it to my daughter. I think I started this after we found out it was a girl, I think. I don't know, maybe not. You don't need to know if it's a boy or a girl. You can just start writing to your baby, and you want to tell them all about what the pregnancy experience was like so that they can know how their life was even before they were born. So it's fun, it's therapeutic, it's been cool, and I like reading back on it because this is all stuff that I've forgotten, because you got that pregnancy brain, so you're going to forget what happens anyway, and I just think it'd be really cool to look back on years later, and especially for your kids to read when they're older. So journaling is a great thing, and you know, when you're pregnant you have so much to say and so many things are going through your mind, so it's really good to write it down. Okay, and that brings me to the last couple of must-haves. These are actually iPhone apps. There's a couple of apps I've been using throughout my pregnancy that I've found really helpful, really informative, and just really awesome for keeping track of what goes on throughout your pregnancy and all of that. And so the first one is called the Menstruation Tracker. And I'm not going to show you the inside because it's like my personal information about my period, like when it happened and you know when we conceived and all that stuff. It's personal stuff, so that's why it's password protected. But I have been using this app for a while, especially when we knew we wanted to conceive. It was important for me to like mark down the days that we tried, just so I could have an idea of when or when it didn't happen. And so, you know, that information is really good to have, especially when you go in and see the doctor and they want to know when was your last period and when was the last time you had sex and all that stuff. So you have that real data. It shows you charts. It really organizes things nicely. It's been a really cool tool. So if you're trying to get pregnant, definitely get that tracker. You're going to love it. The next one is called Tiny Beans, and I love Tiny Beans because this app is actually for kids. Like, you're supposed to post photos of your kids throughout their life, but I started using it during pregnancy. I think about two and a half months ago I started using this, and so I've just been posting pictures of my bump every day and just like activities like my workouts and stuff, and it's private between you and just people that you invite. So it's just me and my like close family circle. That way I don't have to bombard Facebook with too many like pregnancy or kid photos. It's all like, I have pictures of every single day, but it's all private in a group that only people who want to see it can see it. So I can't wait to start using that like once she is born and we can see her cute little face grow up and mature. It's going to be really cool. The third one is called The Bump. And the Bump app is a really popular pregnancy app. I think this is like one of the #1 pregnancy apps, and it's awesome because it actually gives you alerts and notifications of how far along you are in your pregnancy. Every time you grow another week, it'll tell you like, hey, you're 34 weeks today and your baby's the size of a squash. And you can view more information about it, like your baby is approximately 17 inches and 4.6 pounds. Like, how cool is that? I just love knowing this stuff. It also is full of great information. It has articles about all kinds of things that you need to know and things you probably didn't know. Very interesting stuff. So I actually use and read this app a lot. Okay, and the last item has to do with skincare because, you know, as your belly is expanding, your skin is stretching, and sometimes that can lead to stretch marks. You don't want that. Nobody wants to have stretch marks. So there's some things you can do to prevent it. The first one I started using is called Mother's Special Blend. And I got this from Whole Foods. You can just pick it up in their body care section. I'm sure you can also order this online. This, I love the smell of. It kind of smells like cocoa butter, like a chocolatey smell, because it actually has cocoa butter and vitamin E and almond oil and coconut oil. That's it. It's just 4 ingredients. It's very liquidy though. I mean, it is an oil. So when you put it on, it's going to kind of drip a little bit and you have to like rub it into your skin, but then you still have this like oily layer. So it doesn't really like soak in fully, which is fine with me because I just use it at night before bed. So if it gets on my pajamas or sheets a little, I'm fine with that. My dog actually loves like licking my belly right after I put it on, which is weird, but that's kind of like our nighttime ritual. But if you're not into the oiliness of like a belly oil, I know some mamas don't like to put oil on, you can try something like a whipped belly butter. This one I just got is from Boppy Bloom, and it's a white citrus shea, lightweight, moisture-rich stretch mark protection. So it's designed to, you know, moisturize your belly, help you stretch without getting stretch marks, and it's just like a nice buttery texture. So it's it's not greasy or oily like the other stuff is. And I'll use this more like during the day if I'm going to put clothes on over it, because it won't get on clothes as much as the oil will. All right, so that wraps up my must-haves for your first trimester of pregnancy. I hope that this was informative to you and that you learned some things and enjoyed some of these items. And let me know if you have any other things to add that other mommies would want to know. YouTube is a really interactive space, so leave me comments down below, and I love hearing from you guys. And I'm probably going to do more videos like towards the end of my pregnancy, just because I want to share like things that I've learned in my pregnancy. I'm also coming out with a workout and nutrition program that's going to be launched soon, hopefully before the end of my pregnancy, but you know, we'll see. It's a tight deadline. I'm working hard to finish it right now. It's going to be called liveleanpregnancy.com. And so it's a downloadable like PDF program, including videos and a nutrition guide. So hopefully you will pick that up if you are early in your pregnancy right now. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys at the next video, and bye.